Alexandra Eala says if she feels the pressure of representing the Philippines on the WTA tour. Alexandra Eala is set for a huge season next year after her breakout 2025, which brought a first WTA title and a gold medal at the SEA Games. Eala has confirmed several tournaments in 2026, and she's currently competing at the Macau Tennis Masters in China. The Filipina star is the #1 player for her nation, on both the men and women's draw, and big things are expected of her in her home nation. Eala has revealed whether she feels the expectations from her vast amount of fans in the Philippines. Alexandra Eala enjoys representing the Philippines. Speaking at the Macau Tennis Masters after teaming with Jerry Xiong against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and Wu Yibing, Eala was asked about the pressure of being the shining light of sport in the Philippines. Asked if she felt the pressure of her nation, she replied, "I wouldn't say so. Everybody in the end is fighting for their country. Every time we play, our names are beside our flags. So, it's part of our identity where we come from, and I take that as such a privilege and a blessing more than pressure." Eala will appear in the Australian Open main draw for the first time in her career in 2026, thanks to her world number 53 ranking. The 20-year-old has played the qualifying stages on 3 separate occasions, but failed to win a single match. Alexandra Eala plays bizarre match at the Macau Tennis Masters. Eala is currently competing for Team World under the tutelage of Li Na at the Macau Tennis Masters, but the tournament offered up a strange match. She was set to compete alongside Jerry Xiong against Mira Andreeva and Yibing Wu, but illness to the Russian star changed those plans. Instead, Eala and Xiong faced the all-male team of Wu and Alejandro Davidovich Fokina in a surprise mixed doubles match. The Team World pair lost the match in straight sets, although both were only contested by 1 break of serve. More than just a game, Alexandra Eala and the weight of a nation's hopes. When Alexandra Eala steps onto a WTA court, whether at a humble early round match or under the glaring lights of a primetime television broadcast, she carries more than a racket and a tennis bag. She carries the dreams of a nation for whom tennis remains a niche passion, but one that suddenly feels alive, vibrant, and full of possibility. For Filipinos around the world, Alex is not just a rising athlete. She is an emblem of what can happen when determination intersects with possibility. But in reflecting on whether she feels the pressure of representing the Philippines at the highest levels of the sport, Eala's response reveals a profound blend of introspection, resolve, and grounded confidence. Tennishead.net+1. A unique place on the WTA Tour. Tennis is an individual sport in its essence, a one-on-one battle of serve, strategy, and nerve. Yet the stories we tell about tennis players are almost always collective, part personal odyssey, part national narrative. In Eala's case, this collective narrative begins with the simple fact that she is often the only Filipino competitor within striking distance on the global tour. Unlike athletes from countries with extensive tennis infrastructures, nations that have churned out generations of professional players, the Philippines hasn't consistently had players reaching deep into Grand Slams or climbing the WTA rankings. Tennis.com. From this perspective alone, the notion of pressure could seem enormous. When the headlines read, "First Filipina to break into the top 100," or "First Filipino to defeat multiple former Grand Slam champions in one tournament," it's not just a statistical novelty, it's history being rewritten. And with each record, the expectations from fans, media, and even future generations in the Philippines grow more substantial. But when Eala reflects on pressure, what emerges is not anxiety, but awareness. Pressure versus purpose. In interviews, Eala's view on representing her country is refreshing and deeply rooted in personal purpose rather than external burden. She has said that playing for the Philippines gives her intrinsic meaning and something bigger than myself. This sentiment came through clearly after one of her most significant wins, a dramatic comeback at the US Open, where she spoke about the pride of being Filipino and how the Filipino supporters present made the arena feel like home. But this idea, that national representation is a source of meaning and strength rather than purely a pressure, is central to how she approaches her career. Instead of feeling weighed down by expectations, she frames her role as an ambassador, someone who can bring visibility, inspiration, and a new vision of what's possible for youth in her home country. It's important to understand that Eala's personality doesn't shy away from pressure in the athletic sense. Tennis, by its competitive nature, is pressure. But the pressure of representing the Philippines, as she has articulated, isn't something that immobilizes her spirit. Rather, it's an awareness that her journey is not just individual but collective in impact. Tennisshi.net. A story larger than rankings. From her early training days abroad to becoming a fixture on the WTA Tour, Eala's story has been one of incremental breakthroughs. As a teenager, she left the Philippines to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, believing that her growth required both sacrifice and global exposure, and she was right. Over the years, her presence became more than just another young player. She began amassing historic firsts, a WTA title, major wins over established stars, and finally, a ranking trajectory that placed her inside the professional circuit's elite. But these milestones didn't happen in isolation. With each step forward, the narrative expanded from personal achievement to national milestone. Filipinos, long accustomed to celebrating successes in basketball, boxing, and more traditional sports, suddenly had a tennis champion on the world stage, someone who expanded the country's sporting identity. Yet Eala's commentary about this doesn't suggest she feels crushed by it. Instead, she feels encouraged. Representing the country is something we're both proud of. If I'm 55 and I'm like her, then I'm happy. On how representing the Philippines gives her pride and motivation. But that kind of statement reveals something crucial. The pressure she acknowledges is real, but it is tempered by joy and gratitude. She doesn't view her platform as a burden to be nervously carried but as an opportunity to lead by example. Beyond the court, inspiring a movement. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Eala's perspective is how she reframes pressure not as expectation but as opportunity for inspiration. Instead of fearing that she might let her country down, she often speaks about the potential for her achievements to spark a deeper engagement with tennis back home. In her words from previous media conversations, "I would love to think that I make a difference, to inspire people to pick up a racket, to watch more tennis, watch more women's tennis."